And she was like, "How was work?" I was like, "I gotta take a shit."
Look at this.
I went into the bathroom. I had my armpit in the sink. I came out 20 minutes later, dressed in new clothes. I think he would be with her.
In the whole group of Star Trooper rebels, you know?
Yes, ex-Stormtroopers.
It's awesome. I think that would be a great idea.
For real. That'd be really dope. And then him learning, we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, so that's where we meet her on this, I forget what the planet's called. I don't even think they didn't say the name of that planet.
I'm not sure.
It was one of the moons of Endor because the last battle took place above Endor. But, so, Rey basically is going to go by herself. She doesn't want to risk any of her friends getting hurt. And the oceans are crazy, and then we're gonna wait till morning. She's not with it. She's like, I'm not waiting no more. Yeah, she got the cojones. She says, "Fuck this shit. I'm going to find this fucking Sith finder, and I'm gonna do it dolo."
So in reality, what are they gonna do to help her anyways?
She basically told him, "Hold my beer. I'm going out there dolo." So she goes out there dolo. Yeah, she goes out there dolo. She goes inside. The Death Star. Kylo ends up being there, but before Kylo gets there, remember she goes into one of the rooms and she has this vision of what would happen or what could happen if she goes with Kylo. Mm-hmm. And then we get to see Darth Rey.
Yes.
Double-bladed lightsaber. The teeth looked crazy.
It looked great. I mean, that was an awesome piece of cinema right there. Yeah. Just to see the good and the evil and they meet.
And then they fought a little bit too. They fought each other a little bit.
It was a little something. And then right before she sees Kylo and wakes up.
Yeah, and she wakes back up. And then, of course, Kylo is there, and at that point, when she went into the room, she has the Sith Finder, the other Sith Finder, because there's only two at that point. Kylo's there, and then Kylo tells her about her being Palpatine's kid, and they have a little conversation. And throughout the whole movie, they're having like Force talks, so like they'll both be in different planets, and then all of a sudden, they're talking to each other. They can see each other, but they can't see each other's surroundings.
Yes, only each other, and they can grab things as well. And
now we know that they can grab things.
We know they can because he grabbed something from her. Was he there?
So this was it.
Or that was before?
So this was it. So before we get there, remember he breaks the viewfinder, not the viewfinder, the Sith Finder.
Yes. And
now there's only one, which is the one he has in his ship.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now a fight ensues, and that's like the big epic battle.
That was a great battle scene there. Yeah, right on the ship, right in the water, waves coming at you, them disappearing.
My only critique, you know, would have been really dope.
What?
Is if they had the Darth Maul theme song.
Ooh, that would have been cool.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Because there was no music during that. I thought it would have been dope.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with that. They needed a little bit more scores during the battles. Let's give George Lucas that.
Oh, he killed that.
He didn't do the scores himself, but I mean,
John Williams.
He gave great pieces of film so you can put those scores together with
like
it.
That Darth Maul theme of Duel of Fates will forever.
Oh my God, great!
Dun, 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 dun.
That battle was great. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, for sure.
Those prequels are awesome. F all you that don't like.
Love all Star Wars, bro. There's a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that battle they go crazy.
I loved it.
They go crazy. Loved it. And then all of a sudden, Finn comes out of nowhere because he's all like, "Rey, let me help Rey."
And she's like, "Back that guy."
And she hits him with the ill Force push. And then you know what I like that they brought back from the prequels? The Force, the big Jedi Force jumps.
Oh yeah, those were cool. That was cool.
Taking off. Kylo was taking off. Had air.
And then what do we see though? And then what happens?
You talking about my guy?
And then all of a sudden, his mother, Kylo's mother. Leia.
Yeah, she knows that they're fighting. She feels it in the Force.
She feels trouble.
Yeah, she feels trouble. And
you know how the Force is.
Yeah, so she's like, one last time, let me try and reach my son. She goes, lays down.
Perfect timing.
Takes a little Jedi.
I mean, I think that was, she felt that. I think she felt Rey was in trouble there.
And they did say Carrie Fisher's daughter stood in for one of the scenes, and I believe it was probably the scene where she's laying down. Because you don't actually see her face.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That would have been, I don't want
probably some of the Force Ghost stuff.
It's a good idea.
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I love that part. And I love how she almost saved her son in a way.
No, definitely.
She did
save her son.
She helped.
Just hearing her voice, because she didn't say much.
Yeah, she didn't say much, but she gave him a little whisper, something in his ear, and he heard it, which gave Rey the opportunity to strike Kylo. And I believe that is when we finally get Ben back
For sure.
Right there.
That killed Kylo. It killed Kylo. It rebirthed.
He heard his mama. He said, "Mama."
Yeah.
And Rey says,
and Rey was like, "Oh, baby."
But then we also see Rey use her healing force
again.
Force healing and just.
And you could tell, man, boy, oh boy, it was like that man caught. He was like, damn, she
saved me. I heard my mama.
Right.
I just saw the girl I love.
He's like,
and he saw his daddy in his dream
right there
I've
been out here covering my face in fucking helmets and shit, crying, and this badass little tingy ting is over here. The hell is wrong with me?
And it worked, you know. Rey leaves.
Yes. Oh, we did forget one thing before that. Before we get to the that planet part, remember they do stop at that different planet that I can't remember right now. To get the decoder, because to get the viewfinder, they had to get it off of a C-3PO. Remember? Correct. Because he read the. Is that not after? No.
Is that Kajimi that they go to? No,
that's what it's called.
Kajimi.
Was it after that?
Yeah, it's after that.
No, because remember, Kylo was still bad.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It was before that. Yeah.
I thought it was after, too. That's why I didn't mention it yet.
Correction.
But before,
they go to Kajimi. Right before the Death Star scene.
Yeah, not much happens there.
They come from Kajimi.
Yeah, not much happens there, but they do have that little Force FaceTime again.
Yes, they do.
And that's when he grabs.
And that's when he grabs
that's how he finds out that she's in Kajimi.
Yeah. And they have... What's that little man's name? He's like one of the cutest things ever.
I'm going to find it right now. I have a computer in front of me, guys.
Yeah, he was definitely like one of the cuter parts of the movie. Kind of gave you like a Baby Yoda type vibe.
Damn, what was his name?
And he was a little older gentleman.
He was like a little decoder. Looks like this big.
Yeah. I just love that. I love
Babu Frick. Yeah.
Babu Frick. That's what it is.
He's awesome.
That little man, Babu Frick.
Awesome.
And that's when they also when they're on that planet, they also they kind of wipe out the memory of C-3PO in order to translate the Sith language.
Yeah, and I thought that was good for his storyline because you do kind of feel emotional, like damn, like C-3PO, he's still alive, but he might never be the same again because you're not gonna remember him. And then they kind of play on that like for comedy's sake too. Yeah, him like still being the same, but he doesn't remember anybody. Like,
and before he gets his whole memory wiped out, and he says, he's like, Oscar Isaac goes, what are you doing?
Oh, that was nice.
C-3PO, and she's like, what does he say? He says, just taking one last look at my friends.
Yeah, that was.
I mean,
cute.
What? That doesn't touch your heart.
Seriously, it touched.
I mean, come on.
The soul right here. I'm not gonna lie. That was pretty good. That was
Jesus.
Good. And then Babu Freak brings it back because he's a little cute guy.
We
also we find out a little bit about Poe's past. Yeah, the little girl, the girl that he was.
He wanted to give her a kiss, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Yes, she was a little baddie alien.
Yeah, he did. He did. And then I saw an interview with that actress before, because you don't see really her face until the end. You barely see it. She's a little baddie.
Yep.
I don't blame Oscar.
I can't. Yep.
But he had a little past selling or smuggling spices. What do you think spices are in the Star Wars world?
Spices.
Some,
right? Some pepper.
Some cocaine.
Some Star Wars white there. I don't know. Maybe, possibly.
Drug. He was a drug dealer.
They don't really specify what spices are in the Star Wars world.
You gotta smuggle spices? You gotta smuggle?
Yeah, I mean, you never know. There's some prohibition on the spice world.
Smuggling. Spices. Yikes. But yeah, Kylo ends up coming there, and they end up escaping or whatever, which is nice. Yep. But yeah, and then we get back to being on the water planet again, and we get to see Han Solo.
Yes, we get after he comes back to life. By the hand of Rey.
And Rey's gone at this point. She takes his ship.
Takes his ship, which has the decoder in it as well.
Has the Sith Finder.
The Sith Finder, yes. And
the last one.
He does get to see his dad in almost a Force Ghost kind of way.
Yeah, which was very nice.
It was really nice.
Really, it wasn't actually him. It was Harrison Ford, but he wasn't a Force Ghost. He was just a memory in Kylo's head, and it kind of just told him like, "I'm here for you." You know what I'm saying?
And kind of assuring him that everything is okay, even with all the mistakes that he's done.
Did a lot of bad
shit, in killing his own dad.
Yeah, but yeah, he does make you feel like everything's good, and then it was a nice line from Force Awakens where he's like, I know what has to be done, but I don't know if I'm strong enough to do it. And then remember, he actually kills Han at that point. Or in this one, he's talking about throwing away the lightsaber and throwing away Kylo Ren, and he finally does it.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That was the death of Kylo Ren and the birth of Ben Solo, or the rebirth of Ben Solo.
Which is pretty dope. And they released a comic that shows Ben as a Padawan with Luke was pretty dope too.
And see, that's where Rian Johnson. Yeah, he could have gave us more of a
Luke and Kylo
and a little more of Ben.
For sure.
You know, I would like to see more of
for sure
little flashbacks of what he was doing when he was a Padawan learner.
Yeah. That actually would have been dope. Like a younger Ben, like them actually having a relationship.
More flashbacks. Yeah,
sees like some of the good before we get to him.
I mean, we do get to see him.
The Luke trying to
But other than that, we could have seen a little bit more, give him more understanding of his past and why he did it,
and why they actually had a good relationship at some point. Yeah. But then Rey goes back to Ahch-To, and we're like, why is she here? But she went to Ahch-To to do the same thing that Luke did, was to seclude herself, run from everything, and just hide there.
She kind of understood him.
Yeah, and she still keeps the Sith Finder, but she destroys Kylo Ren's ship that she got there with. Yep. And she was just going to stay there. And she throws away the lightsaber, and all of a sudden, Luke's Force hand said, nah.
Which is, in my opinion, a little bit of JJ giving...
That was hard.
You know, throwing that back at Rian Johnson for ruining that little handoff he did in Return of the... Let me stop with that.
That's actually a good take.
It is. And let me stop with the whole Rian Johnson thing. But you understand what I'm saying.
It's actually a really good take. That was kind of like...
It was. It was like...
You're about to see Luke back. And Luke back was
the real Luke. Not the
good vibes.
Corny Luke that Rian Johnson gave us.
For sure. He had good vibes. But yeah, he comes back out, grabs the lightsaber, walking through the fire, and he kind of, tells Rey that, like, what I did was wrong. Like, don't be me. Like, you have to go fight. You have to face your fears. You can't run from them. Kind of gives it a little speech.
And what does Rey do?
Yeah. Oh, and then Luke grabs his old X-Wing out from under the water, which is...
She takes the X-Wing.
Which is super hard. Back to nostalgia. We get Luke's old X-Wing and his old helmet and stuff, and she puts on his old helmet, which is dope.
And in the meantime, we have Finn. Yeah. We have Oscar, who's now taken over Leia's position because I don't know if we mentioned that she passed when she spoke to Kylo Ren. She was her Force energy and did pass, just kind of like how Luke did in the last movie. But during that whole time, we're waiting. When Rey has the X-Wing heading to the Emperor, we finally get Finn having a purpose with Oscar, and they're preparing to go to battle as well.
And they're both running shit.
Yeah, they're both running stuff. Yeah, they're running. They're listening to Finn, and Oscar is the one thing we did get good out of The Last Jedi was Oscar actually was kind of, you see his growing pains.
For sure. Trying to be a leader. I forgot.
Trying to be a mistake. Which is a good thing because now he is a good leader and he knows how to handle things.
Yeah, and he can. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. He's not such like a hothead about everything.
No, he's wise.
But that was dope. Yeah, Rey goes to can't remember the name of that planet now either. But she goes to the Sith planet, right? Boom, parks it. Now she's going to see Palpatine. Like, I'm here, bitch. I'm here, granddaddy. I'm here. Still want Dolo. If I was her, I would have forced FaceTime Kylo. Like, yo.
Yeah, because she had no inclination or idea that her friends were going to help her as well.
Yeah, and they know. No idea. And they're coming. And the way they find that out is all of a sudden there's a beacon flashing because Luke's X-Wing is flying again. So now they're like, wait. Luke is dead. It has to be Rey.
That's right.
So they know that Rey is headed there, and that's how they end up finding the hidden planet. And they follow her.
And you get more of Finn's kind of realizing he has a Force,
Yes.
Using his, I don't know what you would call it, his little Force sense as well.
For sure, yeah. There's hints to it throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Especially at the end.
They don't say it, but, I mean, you get the feeling that he is Force sensitive.
Absolutely. But yeah, she gets there. She goes to face Palpatine. Palpatine's all still strung up on the thing, and he still doesn't have his Sith eyes yet. You know what I'm saying? Before we'll get there. But yeah, they have a little bit of a conversation, and he's all like, "Listen, I need you to strike me down, take over. I'm gonna be stronger than ever. All the Sith are in me, and if you strike me down, all the Sith will live in you, and I'm gonna be stronger."
That scene where you see all
the Sith,
the Sith ghosts. I mean. It gives you a little creepy feel,
It was dope.
Yeah.
It was like an arena.
It was really cool.
It was like a showdown. And she, they're having a back and forth, and while that happens, Kylo's ship lands. Boom. Kylo's back, but not Kylo. I'm sorry, Ben. Ben is back. No lightsaber.
Yeah, but who does he run into?
The Knights of Ren.
He runs into his own boys.
And I like the little in the scene. He gives him a little nod when he. So he starts fighting with no lightsaber, right? And then if cuts back, Rey's talking to Palpatine. They're still having a conversation. He's like, "You're my granddaughter," and she's like, "Blood won't make me. Like, I'm not gonna do what you want me to do. I'm stronger than you." He has to take a sip of his water. Yes. And then Force FaceTime happens again. She pulls out her lightsaber, and Palpatine's all like, "You're gonna strike me down with your lightsaber?
Sacrifice me."
My man is cocky.
Because like, if she kills him,
yes,
she
takes his throne.
Takes everything. Yeah. Everything goes in there, which is kind of cheesy, I guess.
I understand. I get it.
But I
didn't mind it.
I enjoyed it.
Yes. And takes his big Sith army that he had hidden for however many years or whatever, which is pretty dope.
Each one of those ships has a Death Star in it, able to kill a planet, which they did in Kijimi, which is R.I.P. Kijimi.
They did kill
R.I.P. Kijimi. I just love the way Kijimi rolls off your tongue.
And it was a kind of a cool planet too. I like the way it looked. It looked like I could live there.
I'm pro Kijimi.
Yeah, shout out to Kijimi. But yeah. So they're having their conversation. She pulls out her lightsaber, and she's all like, "Strike me down, do it!" And then she pulls it behind her head. She pulls it back, no lightsabers there, but then all of a sudden, Ben pulls it out back to back, and he has it, and then he gives him that little nod. That nod was like, "Y'all know what's up." yeah. He gave him that nod like, "Y'all know what's up."
And to me, that was the best.
Kick ass.
That was one of the best parts right there.
Kick ass.
Not necessarily her battle with Palpatine.
Yeah.
But his battle with the Knights of Ren was really cool to see.
It was kick ass. Yeah, he goes ham. He kills all of the Knights of Ren. He pops up. Comes try to help Rey. And then they're both there fighting Palpatine.
And Palpatine just goes ham.
Yeah, and then Palpatine sucks the power out of them because his whole thing was like, I needed both of you guys together. Like, he was happy that...
Well, he kind of felt the power and the connection and said, I'm going to take this power. This is a power that's very rare.
Yeah. And he sucks it out of them, and then the Palpatine yellow eyes, they go yellow. They get beady.
This is where I don't understand. It was kind of a con in my eyes. I would have loved to see more of a fight between them. Maybe him...
I'm not mad
come up with a new lightsaber or something.
That'd have been dope.
And pull it up, but he was still connected to that machine.
Yeah, he never got
he was so powerful.
I hear him about that.
And he just
I hear
disconnect and
like
a little.
He did have a lightsaber at some point when he was in the prequels. He had a lightsaber.
He could have went Baby Yoda. Remember? I mean, not Baby Yoda. Remember when Yoda battled?
They did.
That was a great scene.
That was pretty dope. That was dope. Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't dislike it. No, I just wish.
I thought it was cool. Yeah, that would have been a nice sprinkle on top. Mm-hmm. It would have been a nice way to end everything. But yeah, and then he gets all the powers back, and this is one of my favorite scenes. I thought it looked beautiful when he finally gets all his powers back, and he looks at the thing. He's like, "Y'all will know the power of the dark side," and then he hits the lightning up in the sky.
Amazing.
And
the true power. He goes full Thor on him.
He won Thor. He won Ragnarok on him. Mm-hmm. He won Ragnarok on him. And then he flicks Kylo like out of nowhere. Like Kylo runs up and he's just like, "You're a peasant." And he force pushes him. And he kind of yells at him that you're gonna feel how I felt, how your father made me fall.
Yes,
yeah, yep.
So they bring that nostalgia in there, which is an
awesome,
he's in an awesome way.
This will be the end of the last Skywalker, because he technically Ben is the last.
He's the last Skywalker.
Mm-hmm. Now that he's not Kylo anymore. But yeah, he gets flicked like a little peasant, and then Rey's sitting there. She's blocking his lightning, and then all of a sudden she closes her eyes and she starts to hear all of the past Jedi, which I thought was really good writing, because Palpatine, he said, I have all the Sith are behind me. They're all here. I am all the Sith. And
so if there's the Sith, you need the Jedi.
Yeah, so her thing is like, okay, well, I'm not alone either. And then you start hearing the voiceovers of all the different, you hear Anakin's voiceover saying, Rey, I'm with you. Obi-Wan's, Luke's, Leia's, Yoda's, Windu's. They had everybody. And part of the rumors of the JJ cut was that they were supposed to pop up behind her as Force Ghosts.
And which would have made it.
What?
That would have been it for me. That would have been great.
Because Palpatine has all the Sith behind him. If they all popped up behind her, oh my god.
See, that would have been okay with me. With them battling. I wouldn't need any more. I wouldn't need any lightsaber battle if I saw that. Which you do, I mean, I guess, because he ends up going full force on her, and she has Ben's and...
Yeah, she has Ben's and...
or it's
Leia's.
It's Leia's and Luke's, if you really want to be serious about it.
Yeah, on Ahch-To, she took Leia's lightsaber. Luke gave it to her. And that's one she's using, too. Mm-hmm. So she has both lightsabers. She has Leia's and Luke's. And
kind of like an X-Men kind of figure.
She has like the Wonder Woman X shit. You know what I'm saying?
And there goes Palpatine.
Yeah, Palpatine's out of here. Gone. And then she looks for Kylo. She
along with everyone that uses the Force with that much power, ends up collapsing.
Forgot about that. You are right. Yes, you are right.
But Ben comes up.
Ben comes back up. You are right.
Is rising.
He got me.
Rise of the Skywalker. Yes. Rises from his fall. And is back.
Yeah, and she collapses like Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda be. Right after the Force.
Every time. You know how it is.
For real. She collapses. Ben comes up out of nowhere, and he's all holding her, and he's all like, "Damn, this is my girl. Now she's about to leave me." And then Ben uses his healing powers. They have a little conversation.
Saves her.
He gives her a nice smoochy smooch.
Big smile. I love it. I did. I like that moment. I feel like they should. I would have loved to explore more of their love for each other.
Yeah. Weird love, by the way.
I wish they
Hispanic love.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I kind of wish Rey would have just passed and Ben would have been
okay.
The Rise of the Skywalker. He'd have been
him actually be the real Skywalker.
Yeah, he really rose, and he's the last one.
I get it.
Whatever.
Yeah. He kisses her and basically trades his life for her life.
Because to be honest, it's the rise of the Palpatine, if you think about it. Because Rey is the only one that lives.
He's technically a
because he dies after he saves her life. He gives his life for her.
And that's why JJ at the end has... We'll get there, but... Yeah, basically, she comes back to life. He sacrifices his life for hers, because the way they set up like the whole healing thing is if somebody's hurt and I'm alive, I can give them part of my life. But if somebody's dead and the other person's alive... You're kind of literally giving them all of your life and putting it into them. So it's,
too much.
Yeah, you're sacrificing. So he sacrificed himself for her. She has little tears and it's all sad. And then all of Palpatine's ships, they start to go down. Palpatine's gone. Everybody wins the war. The Resistance, we rise.
Yes.
And then the Empire and the First Order fall.
They're gone.
They're gone. One thing that we did forget too was the snitch.
Oh yes, which Hux, yes, which
Hux was a snitch.
I kind of like that part of the movie as well too. I like that they threw that in. They needed a little leak. I mean,
if we're gonna be honest with you, one thing that Rian Johnson did bad too about that, they made him a joke.
They made him a joke
because he was a complete
joke.
He
was a joke. He was a joke, and they kind of finished him off as a joke.
Yeah, and you made him
whatever.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah,
because he was a snitch. He snitched. A lot of the leaks that were coming out were Hux and they just made it seem like I hate Kylo so much.
Yeah. He just didn't want to see Kylo win.
I'd rather you guys win than Kylo win. Even though he doesn't know Ben came back and he won anyways. But yeah, so then Resistance wins, First Order falls, and then we get a nice little scene. Rey goes back to Tatooine, which was one of my favorite parts because it does bring it full circle for the end of the whole saga.
Yep. First
movie took place in Tatooine. The first time we see Luke. And what I love, which is one of my favorite shots in Star Wars. First movie, Luke is looking at the double suns.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Which is just iconic.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Scene
and
right
then
there.
Rey gets the same exact send off. She goes to Tatooine, goes to the exact same home where Luke grew up. She buries both of their lightsabers.
And Anakin as well.
And Anakin.
Yeah.
And Anakin. She buries both Luke and Leia's lightsabers, and all of a sudden this lady is like riding a camel.
As she's wielding her own lightsaber as well.
Yeah, she also makes her own lightsaber, which I don't know if you guys noticed.
Introduction to the yellow.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed. She made the lightsaber out of the staff that she's been carrying through all the movies. So I'm assuming it's double bladed.
I was gonna say
it's long as shit.
Maybe not, because
it could be not.
We'll see.
I'm going with that shit's double bladed. If it's double bladed, it's hard because that shit is long and it's out of it's tough and was it yellow?
Yellow.
It's dope. I thought it was pretty dope, and we've never seen a yellow colored lightsaber before. Then this lady comes out of nowhere. She's riding a Star Wars camel, and she's just like, "Who are you? I haven't seen people around this parts in years or whatever." And this is where they tie it back into Rise of Skywalker too, like JJ was. You know what I mean? And she takes the Skywalker name. She sees Luke and Leia as Force ghosts in the distance, kind of saying, like, you know, you are a Skywalker. Like, we give you that blessing or whatever. And she's Rey Skywalker, Palpatine.
Yep. You for a second you think she's gonna say I'm Rey Palpatine.
That would have been kind of funny.
I would have, I don't know. That lady would have been like, "Oh my god,
for real."
What?
What the hell did I get into?
She was like, "Never mind."
Seriously, it's been some years.
But it was cool. Yeah, she, she's a product of the Skywalker, so it was only right.
Absolutely, yeah.
And she gets a little farewell send off in the same scene that with the two sons.
Which is beautiful, and it does end the saga nicely.
Yeah,
everything kind of goes full circle, and it goes back to people not liking the nostalgia.
She had BB-8 with her, correct? Right? Was BB-8 there with her?
I don't remember. Might have been. I don't know. I don't remember though. But what I took away from it was that eventually she was gonna build a Jedi Academy there.
What I took out of it, I thought, since she buried the lightsabers, it's only right that someone else is gonna find it or have to find it.
That's true.
Which is for the future of Star Wars, which I believe will come to fruition in the next 10, 20 years. They're going to have to wait.
If you watch National Geographic, okay, and you go to a desert, the sands move. So technically, they would come to the surface eventually after years. But this is Star Wars.
Maybe it turns into an ocean one day. We never know.
You never know. Yeah. That is basically the entire movie. What are you giving it out of 10? 1 out of 10?
I know the reviews weren't amazing for this movie, but personally, I enjoyed this movie. It was fun. It was fast-paced. It gave me answers to questions that I had.
And we've been looking for years.
Waiting.
Force Awakens came out 2015. That's 5 years ago.
And we got a lot of, a lot of fight scenes. I'm going to go with a 7.5 out of 10.
That's solid right there.
Yeah.
It's very solid. I'm going to go 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it slightly more than you. I think I understand some of your not likings of it.
Mm-hmm.
Reason I enjoyed it so much was because it gave me that feeling of Force Awakens again that just put a smile on my face. And again, there's no slow time. This is fast paced, beginning to end. It's an adventure the entire time. A few things that they could have done better with story wise. I understand why they put certain things in there. And yeah, my only critique would really be I wish it was a 2-parted movie.
A little part 1 and part 2. That would have been cool.
Like how they did of Endgame and Infinity War. That's one movie, one big ass.
That's one big movie.
It's one long movie. Imagine, basically, it's like they took Endgame and Infinity War and put it into one movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you could have easily made that.
If they stretched it out, it would
2-3 hour movies.
I feel like if they had stretched it out, it would be
more understanding, more connections, less loopholes.
Yes, but overall, very fun. I had a great time. If you went to see this movie and you were bored, I don't know what's wrong with you. I wasn't bored at all.
And if you don't like the nostalgia, then
and that's a lot of people's struggle with it. I have zero problem with having nostalgia.
There's nothing wrong with the nostalgia. It's part of Star Wars. It's why we like Star Wars.
All right, guys, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, stay locked in, stay tuned, comment, and please send us requests on movies you want us to review, things you want us to talk about.
Questions about anything.
Anything, seriously. Okay? Thanks, guys. Thanks for sitting with 2 stoned guys. All right?